And in 2019, with the help of two parent churches is what we call them, Transform began. And some of you were around back then over at Oakview Middle School as we started Transform and started to reach our community. Obviously, lots has changed since that day 6 years ago. But the heartbeat of planting something new and reaching a new group of people in the city and a community has not changed. And so we are beneficiaries of these two churches sacrificing and sending to start a brand new church. Well, if you've been to one of our 7-minute parties or you've looked on our website or whatever, you've seen that we have the value ourselves, not just something that we received, but something that we also do. Our fifth value is multiplication, planting churches that plant churches. So since the beginning of Transform, even much, much smaller, we have been putting away dollars for our first church plant, wanting not just to be, a receiver, but a giver, and to help something else to get going. But it's been a long time. We're 5.5 years old now, and it hasn't happened yet. But we've been praying and looking and waiting for where we would plant our first church and who would go and do that. Well, I want to make an announcement today, another big announcement. I know we got lots of announcements around Transform lately, but we're going to plant our first church, and I want to tell you about that. And we're going to send one of our own to do it. Pastor Josh, whom you've met, he's preached here, he's on stage every week, is our youth and creative pastor here. And we've been talking about this for over a year, about what it would look like for him to be our first church planter, to go and start something new. We can resource him, we can coach him, we can send some people to go help a new church get started. And so our first church is going to be in East Bethel, north of here. It's going to be at Cedar Creek Elementary School with Josh at the helm. And so we are very excited, and I'll give you more details in a moment after he comes up, but we're excited to finally do what we've been saying we're going to do for 5 years, and that is to plant our own church and get a new church up off the ground. By the way, this is not a campus. This is an autonomous, brand new church geared to reach a brand new community of people. I'm going to bring Josh up here, and he's going to explain a little bit about the church and its call to this. So come on up.
Hey, Transform. Surprise. Yeah, if we haven't met before, if you're new to Transform, my name's Josh. This is my family on the screen, my wife, Chelsea, and I have 3 kids, Aisha, Ellis, and JC. And I've been in ministry now for 20 years officially, and started out in youth ministry as well. I've done a ton of stuff at different churches. I've served in a lot of different capacities, a lot of different locations, and gotten the opportunity to do a lot of things, but my favorite thing is to introduce people to Jesus. And so I just believe that church planting is just the best way to help people find and follow Jesus. And so just a little bit of backstory. I started here at Transform back in 2021. Right before I started at Transform, I went through the exact same church planting assessment that Pastor Mark did. And we were praying about planting at the time, kind of going back and forth, but ultimately God led us here to Transform, to be a part of what God was doing here. And I would not change that decision for the world. I love this church. I'm going to talk more about how much I love this church in a little bit. But for me, the call to plant had always been just holding it with open hands. I heard a pastor say this quote once: if it's not God's time, you can't force it, but if it is God's time, you can't stop it. And so I would always hold my hands open and say, here I am, Lord, send me. If you want me to go, if you want me to do this, my hands are open, but I'm not going unless you're leading the way. And so I always held this posture, and over the last year, God's go has been getting louder and louder for me to plant a church. And what we're going to learn in the book of Acts is that we need more churches. Here's some statistics for you, just locally and internationally, that for every 3 to 5 churches that close, 1 is getting planted, okay? And so in Anoka County, to bring this locally, if everybody in Anoka County right now wanted to follow Jesus, we simply would not have enough space to accommodate that. especially in East Bethel. We would not have enough chairs. We would not have enough resources. And furthermore, this gets me excited as a youth pastor, that statistically Gen Z is more open to spiritual conversation than any other generation prior. They're more open to having a conversation about Jesus, but they are limited on places that they can look that are not social media. So what I'm trying to say by this is the amount of people searching doesn't match the amount of places that they can look. So that's the problem that we're trying to answer. That's why we feel called to plant. And specifically in East Bethel, God continued to speak louder and louder about this community as I was driving through, praying about it. And what I learned is that East Bethel is going to be the next growing city in Anoka County, actually by 48% in the next several years. If you drive up 65 right now, you'll see a whole bunch of houses in development right off of the main drag of 65. There's a huge comprehensive plan that the city has to continue to develop East Bethel into just a growing city. And we're really excited about the identity that they're going to start to establish. And we believe that Jesus needs to be a part of that identity, that Jesus needs to be in that community. And so we're planting Destination Church. And the whole mission of the church is to help people find and follow Jesus. If you've heard me speak before or had a conversation with me, this is kind of my heartbeat as a leader, is I want to help those who don't know Jesus find Jesus for the first time. And those who do know Jesus, I want to help them not just be a fan, but to be a follower, a true follower, and know what it means to follow Jesus. And so at Destination, we're going to do this by really encouraging growth. We're going to help people take their next steps. We're going to be gospel-centered. Just as we open our Bible here at Transform, we're going to do the same at Destination. We're really going to put a huge emphasis on worship, as worship not just being a warm-up to the message, but as a time where we really glorify the amazing Savior that we have. And one of our big things is just by being a family church. Being a church that we're going to see in Acts chapter 2 here at the end, where they're there for each other, where they're supporting one another. But not only that, where we're building up the family, that you're not just a Christian when you're at church, but you can display that faith behind the closed doors of your home. And so I believe that throughout this study in the book of Acts, you're going to see all of these values kind of communicated as we look at this book together. And so I'm really excited about this. I'm really, nervous, as you can tell up here. This is like, I speak up here. I'm up here playing every single instrument all the time, and this is the most nervous that I've been to stand in front of you. But I believe that God's just really paving the way for this one, and I'm really excited. And I want to say one more thing that I'm going to be saying here for the next month. Thank you. Thank you, Transform. I can't tell you how incredibly hard it is to leave a church that I have been getting to lead for so long, how many deep conversations and how many of you I know on a really personal level. I love this church. From the bottom of my heart. And I'm going to be saying thank you a lot the next couple of weeks and to a lot of you out in the lobby. So thank you. Thank you for supporting this brand new plant. So that's it.
All right, couple logistics you should know. Josh is going to be in his staff role here till the end of the month, and so and then at that time he will transition out. And June, July, August, basically he builds what we call a launch team, and then we'll launch the church in September. Same exact schedule that I followed, Crystal and I, back in 2019 to launch in the fall. You might be asking a few questions, and I want to answer those questions. What about the positions that Josh has here, or the youth ministry, things like that? What about those? We want to let you know that we are actively looking to hire for those positions. In fact, Josh is in youth ministry and in worship, and we're going to hire 2 different people to do those different things. In fact, we're going to hire a full-time youth pastor. Josh has been part-time in youth ministry, but youth ministry has grown now, and it's time to add a full-time youth pastor. already have applicants in for that, but be praying that we find the right person. And also in worship, but we've got other staff members that are covering those different positions in the meantime until we make those hires. Also, you might be wondering, well, what about the Deep and Wide campaign and the whole journey that you just took us on? Well, we still need that. This doesn't change that. We desperately still need to build and continue to grow here. But in 2019, there were 2 churches that were actually in building campaigns, raising dollars to build their own buildings, and still said, you know what? We want to plant a new church and reach a new community. Those 2 churches were our parent churches. Aren't you glad that they, in the middle of their own building, said, we're still thinking about others and other communities, and we're still going to do this? Is that a good thing? Otherwise, Transform would not exist. So this is not an either-or thing for us. This is a both-and thing. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to reach our community. But as Acts 1:8 says, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, this is how you do that, is autonomous individual church plants. And so we're thrilled to be able to send out Josh and start something new. What does that look like? Let me just give you 3 simple words: coaching, resources, and people. This is what was given to us and what we will give to him. So coaching, I have been meeting with him on this topic, but not by myself. We have 2 other parent churches. We call them parent churches, and he's like the daughter church. 2 other churches are helping us to do this. Oak Haven Church across Highway 65 in Ham Lake, another one called Pursuit Community Church in Mounds View. Together, the 3 of us are all doing the same thing. They're making announcements at their churches. They're sending resources and coaching and people to help this new one. So we'll keep meeting with him up until the plant, and then for several years after he plants as well. And then resources, we're going to help him financially to get this thing going, because you need resources at the beginning to get it moving. But we've already been saving these dollars for the last 6 years. Those dollars are all allocated for church planting specifically. They are ready to go, so no other fundraising is needed. We have the dollars to send with Josh out the door. And then lastly, this is the biggest one, is people. We are looking to send up to 30 people from Transform, including kids, to go with Josh and help plant Destination Church for at least 9 months, to go and to get the thing off the ground. You give, you serve, you get involved in a group, you help that new church to get established and get moving in a new community. Most people will stay, but others may come back after that time. But this is your opportunity to go and be a part of something new. I think if you talk to anybody that was on our initial team 6 years ago, they would say that was a pretty special time period to be a part of something. So inside of the Bibles near you is a little handout. It says Destination Church on it. I'd love for everyone just to take that out near you, just so you can look at it. And there's ways you can partner with Josh. You can be on his prayer team, so fill that out, and then you will start getting his emails on what specifically he's dealing with and needs prayer for, specifically related to the birth of this new church. And then also, if you are interested in joining that team, you can mark that, and he'll follow up with you there. If you're not ready yet either, you want to still think about this and pray about this, you've got several more weeks to do that too. That's okay. And then also, if you know people that might be interested in helping with this, let's say you have family in East Bethel or something like some surrounding area that might be interested in helping, you can help Josh in that way too. We're going to talk about this more over the next few weeks. But just be in prayer for this new thing, new venture that we're taking. Obviously been working on it for a while, but this is our first one, and I'm really excited to be able to send our very best to be able to start something new